coming to get you, Barbara.
It is the Scream Stream right here on the DJV Productions Network. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell. Leave us some comments down below. Share the channel and share the episode. We want to hear from you, so I want to make sure you're hitting those comments down there. Let us know what you think. We have a great show tonight. But first, before we get into that, let's talk about who we got on the show. We got my friend Matt Sunner.
Greetings, Earthlings. Enjoy the show before I destroy you.
God forbid. And then we got the technically declined Stacy Rubel. Look how beautiful she is. She had 8 million technical difficulties, and
Oh my God, 8 million, more than Cthulhu.
And most of it was just her glasses. No, I'm just kidding. Look beautiful, beautiful. Yes, we have a great show tonight. So tonight we're going to be setting our phasers to run because we're talking about sci-fi horror. That's what we're talking about tonight. And sci-fi horror, when you think about it, it spans so many different genres, so many different movies. Sometimes you don't even think about it based on what you watch, what you don't watch. If you look behind me, you got the classic robot, from the 1960s. A lot of black and white sci-fi was considered horror in a sense. It wasn't considered sci-fi per se. It wasn't a separate genre.
Because most of it involved the aliens coming to destroy the world.
Right. So it was about destruction. But it was like, who came? It wasn't an earthbound monster. It was a monster from outer space. So there was that. And then, you have stuff like Godzilla and the Monsterverse. You have, that was considered sci-fi. Then you also have some more modern stuff, and we'll talk about them too. The Alien Saga. We'll talk about John Carpenter's The Thing, which is a remake from a black and white, The Thing that came from outer space, which was also very scary in itself. And then there's other ones that we were going over, like off the air. We were going over so many that we were talking about, but we'll talk about a bunch of them there. Stacy, since you had a lot of technical difficulties, we're going to go with Matt first. Matt,
I deserve to be punished.
You're being flogged.
We're sitting you in the corner for a few moments.
Think about what you've done now. Matt, tell me about what is your of the sci-fi genre of horror? What is your go-to? What is your, if you had to say, this is my ultimate, this is what I like.
Right over here, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
It ranks, forget about the genres of horror. I mean, it's in my top 3 horror movies of all time.
Right.
Period, regardless of genre. I absolutely love it. It is as a go-to, mainly because, again, I mean, it works in the suspense level of it.
Right.
Absolutely phenomenal practical effects.
Right.
I mean, you look at the practical effects that they did in that rivals anything that you see in CGI these days. I mean, when they went and made that quote unquote prequel / sequel to it,
right.
Which wasn't, I didn't think it was terrible, but it was like that was like a watch it once and like, okay, I saw it, and now there's no need for me to see it again.
Right.
I think the only thing they really did great about that movie was really tying in the scenes in that to the original movie, how they recreated some of those original set pieces.
Right.
But like I said, it's great. I mean, the creatures in it, they were so unbelievably scary. and then
Yes.
and again, based on it being a shape-shifting alien and it kind of remembering other forms it's taken, like every time you see it, it looks different, and there's something else about it that scares the ever-living crap out of you.
Yes.
And it's just awesome.
I mean, for me, and it is. I mean, the thing is, it's got to be in your top five. I don't care who you are. It's just an amazing movie. But for me, I think for me, I love the old, and I'm a big fan of black and white. I'm a big fan of the old 1960s horror, sci-fi horror flicks. It came from outer space. Uh, one of my favorites is Tarantula.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. And all it is a green screen of all things in 1960 something with a giant fucking tarantula that like nobody seems to fucking see as they're driving through a desert with no buildings around them. You can't see this fucking 50-foot tarantula walking around, right? But no, they don't do that. And just like I think what I love about it, other than just like it's so not real being black and white and being like totally out of my time period that I get lost in it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like familiar surroundings.
You're saying my time period?
It's
Oh,
not my time period. It's not yours either. Shut up. You're younger than me.
I am younger than you. That's really, no. I thought
Nah,
you said
nah.
it was. No, I thought you said it was in your time period. That's
It's
just I'm like,
no, it wasn't my
you
time
ain't that
period.
fucking old.
It wasn't my time period. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't my time period. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. It was like, you know. And I think what I really love too is that the acting in the 60s, and we can all say it, was so over the top and was so like, and it wasn't necessarily bad, right? But it was over the top and overly dramatic that you really saw the fear in their souls. You know what I mean? When these people were like, like that, you know what I mean? Like, and you know,
Reminiscent of today is like
yes,
literally that's how theater actors do it these days.
right,
Is exactly like that. Like they do the over, because they're trying to get a dramatic effect across, with using minimal effort, minimal, resources and things like that. So
right.
that's just something you see a lot of. And
Now, have you done horror yourself?
oh yeah,
Acting? Yeah.
I've only done horror actually.
Okay. So I mean, like, and
In terms of acting and effects, which
Yeah.
which is why I'm like obsessed with the Thing, which we were talking about. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been obsessed with anything in George Romero's movies,
yes,
like with zombies, just because I really like the effects. But to me, the top-notch effects of all time to this fucking day are two movies.
Right.
It is The Thing and the original Jurassic Park.
yeah,
Period.
okay,
Yeah.
Period.
yeah,
Like you can't tell it's fake. Like the blood scene in The Thing, just alone, it was
Yes.
amazing. Like when I was younger, I was watching. I'm like, how the fuck did they do that? How the fuck
Right.
they do have like it's just so good. But Carpenter's also a big fan of Lovecraft, so that's probably why I'm obsessed.
And
But
see, and that's a cool
yeah,
one.
Yeah, and that scene, funny enough, it actually has one of my favorite lines. Like at like the tail end of that scene with the blood test is oh god, Gary, this character is like, I realize you guys have been through a lot, but I would really not like to spend the rest of the winter tied to this fucking
fucking
couch.
chair, yeah, this
Yes.
fucking chair.
Yes.
I remember
It's
like
just
a
like-
tiny
Like,
motherfucker.
I know you guys have been through a lot, but I don't want to spend the rest of the winter tied to this
Yo, that
fucking
was
couch.
so good.
Now,
Like the lines in that movie, the effects, just everything about it is top notch.
And even too, what I've got here behind me, with
mhm.
what was his name? I think that was Norris. I think was the character's name. When that head, sprouted those eyes and those legs, and it's crawling away, and and Palmer like turning around, kind of catches it. It's like, you gotta be fucking
kidding me. That was so good.
now,
it was great because it did use
Well,
some of
that's
those
how
like,
everybody
comedic.
audience was on it.
Yeah, and
reacting.
it's
was
great because
are
they,
you
and that's
fucking
again
kidding
what
me?
made it so great was because of the tension. It seemed like all of these characters were reacting in ways that you would
Right.
You
legitimately
would
react.
actually
Even-
fucking react.
Even
Like,
after
I
a-
would
after
be
a-
literally saying that. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
are you
I mean,
fucking
so
serious?
You're actually in the theater saying it along with them. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta be
Yeah,
fucking
right.
kidding. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's the truth.
Exactly.
You've been through this traumatic thing, and now it's like, okay, all right, cool. And then you see it, and like, what the
Fucking
fuck?
serious. Like,
Now
my fucking
one
shoes
of my
tonight.
favorites, and it's over, and we got like a little bit over Matt's left shoulder. The Fly, the original and the remake
is
with
good
Jeff
too.
Goldblum. Now the original with this just as a suspense scenario. It's. I mean, granted, we're all grown people, and I'm not scared of the Fly. You know what I mean? But
Well, it's
as
like I'm
a
not
horror
scared of
movie,
Alien, but as a
right,
horror
right.
movie, it's top notch. The suspense, they keep you like
It's so suspenseful,
right
and
there.
I love the Fly. I love the story of the Fly. I
Mhm.
love the story of Andre and how like it happens, and like it's a sad story on top of everything else because
very
it's
depressing.
it's a very bad ending. But then the Cronenberg Fly, which you see right there, Matt's got up there. I'm gonna make you big while you're have that up there. Don't come back on. I want to see your face. I mean, this was some scary shit. You know, once again, great effects.
That scene is the one I'm like, you're pointing like you could fucking see me. That scene
Yeah.
was like the one that stuck with me because it came out when I was younger, and I
Yes.
saw it when I was younger, and that scene right there that you're showing, that's the one
Yeah.
that fucking stuck. Like,
Yeah.
hardcore.
But how cool was that? And the cool thing about the Cronenberg version of The Fly is that you actually are skipping the dramatic part of the love affair of Andre and science, and I
Well,
am
yeah,
so
it's on
ashamed
the
of his
back
wife.
burner. Like the love
Right.
affair's on the back burner. Everything else about the science and the body
And you're
horror, which
really and
body
it's
horror Cronenberg is really good at.
right, and you're
Yeah.
you're going through it step by step, and you're
Mhm.
like, it would be a process. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like, oh, I'm a fly
Immediately,
now.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a fucking fly, woohoo!
I mean, I'm kind of glad that there wasn't a human fly to counterpart like they did in the original Fly with Andre's head.
Like there are
You
things
know?
like in the original, like yeah, for you mentioned the original thing, for
Yeah.
example.
Yes. Yes.
I actually didn't know that existed until like I was a teenager.
Yes. Mhm.
Like I was like older and I'd already seen the thing 100 times because I was obsessed with it because it's fucking
Right.
amazing. And I had no fucking idea like that there was
Mhm.
and then I watched 1950s when it was good. It
It's
wasn't
good.
bad, but
No,
it's
good.
like
It's not the same movie.
it's like Carpenter took that and took it to the cosmic horror like Lovecraftian nth degree.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and
yes.
it just worked really well. But
And it's-
also
and
the
it's a shame
blob,
it's
the
not-
blob's another one.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
And it's a shame that the thing initially
Oh yeah, not
flopped in the
only did
theater.
that flop, you know what else he did that Carpenter did that fucking flop that was absolutely amazing? It was just like a very similar Lovecraftian story. It was called In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes.
It starred Sam Neill.
Yes.
It was so disappointing because even though the movie to me is amazing as it is, right? They had all of these effects and monsters and shit in mind that they didn't show
Right.
to. They ended up shoving like some in towards like the end of the movie, but like they showed you like little clips of things that would be badass monsters, but they actually had full on shit. But there was like a bunch of stuff I can't remember what it was exactly that went on
Right.
with like the special effects artists and whatever. But it fucked the whole thing up with the effects. However, it still turned out top notch, and I was so like today I show it to people and they're like, wow, that's really
Right.
good. I never heard of it. I'm like, that's because people don't fucking get it. They don't
Now,
get
you know what I
it.
like?
Think of the thing, by the way, the one that you said you didn't hate, Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Sorry, I'm like on like a tangent. I watched the thing and I thought it was a remake. And I was like, well, this
It's a
doesn't
prequel. Yeah,
quite
it's a
make
prequel.
sense. And then Dave was like, oh, that's supposed to be a prequel. I was like, okay. He's like, did you know they had issues with the special effects in there? So apparently they
Mhm.
did do a lot of practical effects and a lot of
Mhm.
Muppetry and a lot of that awesome shit, the original shit and the thing did.
Right.
but there was like a bunch of issues with the production, so they ended up CGing. If you notice, like some of it's really good and really
Yeah.
practical,
And then-
and then
and that's
some
what
of
I
it's
think-
like far end CG, and that's why,
Right.
because it was meant to be practical, but it ended up going CG because of the issues.
there are and I think that's actually kind of why I think I didn't think it was so great, was because
The
they
CG.
there was just so many places where it felt so in places disjointed.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like certain parts you're watching and going like, okay, this is really good, and then you get another scene, you go like, oh, come on. And it's like
Yeah.
it's not like it's a bad effect, but it's just so obviously
It is, and then
CG
it's weird because
it's-
it's very yeah, and it's disjointed because some of the effects in it are still practical and they still look really good, and then all of a sudden, for no
Now,
one,
reason,
I
and
didn't.
it's-
I did not
CG.
watch it. I did not watch it. Did they
Oh,
make?
really?
the
It's not that bad. I didn't
Did
hate
they?
it.
Did the people of like makeup effects look time appropriate? Because keep in mind, this is supposed to be 80s.
Yeah, no. But the effects aren't supposed to be the 80s. Like, if you want to
Nah.
honestly go with the effects, the original one
But, like,
had
you know what I
more
mean? Like
realistic
you
effects
watch,
to me than most movies, even today. Like, to
like
me,
you
that's
watch,
still like,
you watch Kurt Russell and the rest of those guys. You know you're watching an 80s movie. You know what I mean? And then, like, if you watch this, do you watch? Is it
hey,
like you're
make me
watching a
feel
90s or
old.
2000 movie?
Yeah, it does.
It
It's
does
the
look like that. Yeah.
quality is there,
Mhm.
but again, I think it's the same. I like the fact that they didn't try to make it kind of gritty and grainy like it was made back then.
Yeah,
But I think
tell a story of a prequel.
yeah, I think the story itself was good. It suffered from very disjointed effects work.
Yeah.
Mhm. Same.
And I said that's why it's like I watched it. I said, okay, this was kind of cool. It was fun to watch it, but for me there was not
Mhm.
a lot of incentive to go back and watch
And
it again and
rewatch it,
again and
yeah.
again,
Right.
like
Right.
I will with John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
It's like, and I feel the same way with some of the the alien movies that we've gotten
Yeah.
in the past few
Yeah.
years, like with Prometheus and
Mhm.
Covenant and all these. It's like on their own, I thought they were kind of cool. I
Yeah.
think that there were certain things I didn't like about how they
It
tried to
didn't
connect.
flow with the original
You
kind of
know,
like canon.
Like the one big
Yeah.
thing that I really felt was kind of cheesy was
Mhm.
how they had it so that the android, and I forget what was his name, David.
Yeah, it's David.
David, okay. How they have him go like after Prometheus, and I think the one after that was Covenant, was it?
Covenant. Yes.
I've only seen Prometheus. I actually
Where-
Yeah.
like,
Covenant was
the
that
other
was after
one.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
when they find that like he's
Mhm.
gone to like the engineer homeworld,
Yes.
and he took it from he engineered the face huggers. That's like
Yes.
something that he created, and the whole big thing behind that was he went crazy because like here he was as an android, and he just has this programming, but he can't create. He can create. He can play back any piece of music, whatever that he's ever heard, but he can't write music, kind of a thing. And he ends up engineering this, and he's like, I improved the species. Well, when you first encounter this thing, it was basically a spore that got into your body, and then next thing you have no idea it's there, and then all of a sudden the thing
Right.
bursts out of you, whatever, and it's like, oh, I
Right.
made it better, and it's like, no, actually you didn't. You
Right.
took something that was so perfect that it was a spore and could implant itself by just getting up into your nose or in through your ear, or so you inhale it, and now it's this thing that's got to jump out of an egg, latch onto your face, lay an egg in your chest, and have
And
it
you know what,
incubate
though?
there. And it's like, no, you didn't improve it. You kind of made it less
At,
efficient, dude.
at 12:30 a.m. on any given night, you can go to Taco Bell and create the same exact scenario. You know what I mean? Like legit, right? Now, for me, I don't think no, and like you said, when you're talking about aliens, and they're scary. I mean, the aliens, they're scary creatures and stuff like that. But for me, there is nothing scarier than spiders that come from space, right? When a spider on Earth is bad, but that motherfucker's up in space too, doing space spider shit. Fuck
Sir,
you.
I will not,
You
as
know?
a tarantula keeper, I will not let you slander the name of spooters.
Speeders. Well, guess
Speeders.
what? Big ass spider. Take a look at that one, real quick.
Bro,
That's a great,
I
what a
fucking
great
love
movie,
that movie.
right?
That movie is that had no okay. So the effects weren't that great, but
No.
the fucking acting and the lines are so quotable. That movie was just fun, 100%.
I can't
And then
tell my
there's-
wife to watch anything like that.
And then there's
She
the
has
one.
such a phobia of spiders. She's like, you gotta come in here and kill this spider. It's huge. And I come in here and it's like this flipping.
Stace, you don't
I
remember
used
that?
to be like that though. I used to be terrified of spiders, right? And then I started watching some terrain. Like I wasn't terrified of them on like nature stuff because I
Yeah.
used to go to school for biology. I used to find them fascinating, but if they were going to be on me, fuck that shit. Fuck that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm the same
yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
can do-
now
you can do your
I'm
spider
like,
shit anywhere except on me. No.
And now I own 12 fucking tarantulas and I love them just because I started learning about them and stuff. I'm like, these guys are really fucking cool. So now I've got a bunch of spiders. I went from arachnophobic to spider.
Do you
obsessed.
remember the movie? They come from the meteors come from space, right? And for some reason they always land in New York. I don't know why that is. And they're
Well, because New York and LA are the only cities. that
No.
exist in the cinematic
Sometimes
universe.
this shit happens in Pennsylvania a lot.
right.
Okay.
But the spider lands. The spider thing, like the Russians get involved or something like that, and they bring spiders from fucking space, right? And these spiders take over a New York subway, right? And the guy who runs the subway has to like now fight them because now he's got to be the hero of the movie. And there's like these alien spiders that the government's like, yeah, we got these alien spiders. Let's fuck around with these things for a little bit, right? And they're giant fucking spiders that are like just coming from space, right?
Didn't we talk about that on Shit Your Pants Wednesday?
I believe we did, and it's a great movie because you could see it actually free on YouTube. I can tell you right now. I can't think of the name of the movie, but if you look up
Hang on, I'll
spiders,
try and figure it out.
find it out and give our fans that's because it's actually a pretty decent movie. The acting's pretty decent, and you're like, oh fuck no.
I swear to God, it's called giant spiders, but I'm googling.
I think it's called giant spiders. I think you're absolutely right because there's big ass spider, which the big ass spider has the spider that's up on the building.
No,
with a big fat
tarantula.
ass.
Is that it?
Tarantula is the old 1950s. I think it's giant spiders.
Yeah, see, that's not coming up, but I swear to God, what you're saying sounds familiar, and I swear to God, it's.
And I think it was like
giant
from like,
fucking spiders.
and I think it's from like 2003 or something like that.
Is it Eight-Legged Freaks?
No, Eight-Legged Freaks is actually that's what's his name, David Arquette.
Yeah, I love that movie. I don't care who hates it. I was like, that movie's fucking entertaining.
I think it's Spiders 3D.
Spiders 3D.
It might be.
Oh no! Hey, wait! Hang on a second. Hang on. Earth versus the Spider.
No, it's not Earth versus the Spider, but that's a fantastic movie, by the way.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am. Dude.
Wait,
I'll give it to
after
that
a
movie.
Soviet space station crashes into New York
Yes.
City?
Yes.
That's 2013. That's
Okay.
called. Hold on.
It's not Giant Spider Invasion either.
You would not believe what it's fucking called.
What?
Spiders.
Just spiders?
Just spiders.
Yeah, spiders. So that was the episode we did. I think we reviewed it.
Yeah.
It was like it
Just
came
fucking
also out in
spiders.
3D.
But
We have it listed in Shit Your Pants Wednesday. It's listed under.
Right.
Yo, I just want
Spiders
to
3D.
drop this movie out here because I just rewatched it recently, and talking about this reminded me of that. Especially when you said Taco Bell and bad shit coming out of you. Have you guys ever seen the movie Slither?
Yes. Yes.
I have
used
not
to-
watched it. I know that was one that Dan recommended for me.
Yo,
and we
I
will talk
love
about
that
it.
movie. I
Yeah.
just rewatched it recently because it was on Tubi, and I was like, this movie still holds up. I'm fucking cracking the fuck up. This movie is so funny.
Now, Matt mentioned Earth versus the Spider. Now, there's an original 1950s version, 1960s version, which is once again Giant Spider, and these fucking kids. The Giant Spider comes out of the cave and blah, 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 and they knock it out, and they hold it like in the gym at the high school.
So I didn't even know they did a remake of that in 2000.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
So, well, what happened was, I'm going to get into that, which is why this was great. So, and it's by name only. It's not the same story. In the original, like the kids like, yeah, like we got a band practice. We got to practice our music. So there's a giant spider in the fucking gym. Oh, fuck it. He's sleeping. Let's go in there. And then, so they're doing a sock hop in the fucking gym with a giant spider in the fucking gym, right? So that's the old one, right? The new one came out right before the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. All the hype was up for
Really?
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, right? And so what happened was it got released, went straight to video. It was actually on Cinemax, I believe it was, or HBO. I think it was either HBO or Cinemax. And what it
Cinnamon.
and what it was like exactly what I want out of a Spider-Man movie, which was spider horror. Guy goes in, right, and like they totally push the limit of copyright infringement, right? So this guy works at he's a janitor at like a scientist place, right? And they're working on spiders to do like military aspects on these spiders or whatever, blah blah blah. And he has this. He's big into comic books, and he loves Arachnaman, right? Or something, right? Something like that, right? So he goes in and he gets, well, go figure, he gets bit by one of these fucking spiders, right? So he starts getting slight little power, not powers like spider sense or anything like that. Nothing cool, but he gets
Nothing cool.
nothing cool at all. But he starts getting like powers of like a spider, right? He gets super strength, blah blah blah.
That's
But now,
cool,
right?
sir.
But then he starts like hair starts falling out, much like the Cronenberg fly.
I was gonna say fly.
He starts shooting spinnerets out of his stomach, right?
Why there?
Right, and then he starts eating. He starts eating people. He's a big giant spider. And here's the big capper of the whole thing: the guy who tries to save everybody is none other than a big fat Dan Aykroyd.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, Dan Aykroyd.
like you're not being like funny. It's actually
It's
Dan
actually Dan
Aykroyd.
Aykroyd.
Dan
It's
Aykroyd, like
actually the Dan Aykroyd.
from Evolution. Dan Aykroyd. Where
Dan
he's
Aykroyd from
obnoxious.
SNL.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Oh no!
Dan
I
Aykroyd.
was making a joke because he was he played
You know.
this really obnoxious guy in the movie
Yeah.
Evolution.
But,
Yeah, he was the governor.
Yeah, he was. I loved him. He's so
but
good.
Earth versus Spider, if you can get it, if you can watch it, you could probably stream it in some places. It's a very well worth a watch. It's like one of those movies that back when we were all like kind of kids and stuff like that, you saw these late night movies on Cinemax or Showtime, and you're like, where the fuck this movie wasn't in the movies or anything like that? And
It's like straight to
That's-
video.
straight to video type of movies, and that's exactly what this was. And it was to kind of hold you over until Sam Raimi's Spider-Man came out, right? And it was great. And like I said, it's by name only. It's not the same story as the 1950s, or anything like that. But it's a great story to watch and stuff like that. But once again, spiders for the win. But another one, and we talked about this in the last episode slightly, which was the found footage one. Well, no, the fourth kind.
Oh yeah, we were
Okay.
talking about that.
Once again, found footage film, but this was alien abduction. And they made that shit so fucking scary. And I think what made it scary is that they tried to make it like it's real. It wasn't a fantastic story. There wasn't a hero or a villain. It was an abduction story, and it was scary as shit.
Kind of reminded me of though, like I'm talking about like the true story or
Yeah.
whatever. Like the way they were describing everything and their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know about the Mothman. Well, obviously you do, Dan. We had a whole fucking episode on the Mothman where we went and did it. But
On Bite Me, yes.
yeah.
Check it out on the DJB Productions Network. Bite Me.
It was really good. It was really
it's
long.
really
It was
good.
really comprehensive too. But it sounded a lot like that. They were talking about something with like large eyes, red, seeing them at night, all this other shit, and then they would have these weird experiences. I'm like, if this is real, maybe it's a Mothman thing, not like an alien thing.
Right. And
Just
we'll
literally, there's so many parallels when they go over it in the movie.
and we'll get into stuff like the Mothman and stuff like that when we go over folklore, of course.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of honorable mentions on the show. Terminator.
Mhm.
Nothing worse than like robots and AI, which is now 2024. We're surrounded by AI.
Uh-huh.
The world of the Terminator is right upon us. right now. So how scary that is, you know? What I mean, um, it's like life create. What do they say? It's art
They're
imitating life.
imitating,
Yeah, art
imitating
imitates life, and then life imitates
Imitates
art.
art, and you don't know where in between it is because it's a circle. Okay,
Mhm.
so like you have that going on. You have these alien movies. You have these spider creatures and stuff like that. Um, and like I said, back in the day when it was black and white, and they were like, remember that one where it's like it's like an ape suit, but they have a space helmet on.
Yeah, the space helmet on the gorilla.
What is that? No, I know exactly what you're fucking talking about.
And-
I've seen it.
and-
I've seen so many cheesy black
And
and
you know
white
what? It's
sci-fi
like
movies.
I should I be scared or should I stop peeing myself from laughing because I'm like I don't understand what's happening right now. You know what I mean? But these are some of the great things. And
Although one that I think we really need to mention.
It was Robot Monster, by the way.
Robot Monster. There you go.
And Stacy mentioned it before
We lost
shit.
your audio,
Oh,
Matt.
I was gonna say I thought it was me. Sorry.
Now it's Matt.
oh, wait a minute, hang on. a
Here you
second.
go. Now you're back.
Pages.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. But Stacy mentioned it before we went on
Mhm.
the air. But Event Horizon.
Event
Oh, yeah.
Horizon.
Mhm.
What and horror. It is horror.
That is oh my!
Yeah.
I mean that
And
is
another Lovecraftian movie where they also had like just so many cool effects and crazy images of hell
Mhm.
they ended up removing. It's really sad. I wish
and
they would've
there's
kept
I
that
mean
in.
there I mean it's when you watch that movie.
Yes.
And again, and this ranks right up there with the thing. I think overall.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
It's the story kind of maybe doesn't hold me as much, but I mean, when you talk about just
Mhm.
sheer frightening imagery,
Yes.
that movie isn't just
Mhm.
scary; it is flat out disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one
Mhm.
of those ones.
Yeah.
That is a movie I can see giving people nightmares, and I've heard people say like they've watched it and they can never watch it again because it disturbed them so much. They're like, "Yeah, nope,
Right.
forget it. I know
Have
it's
you
behind
seen
that door, and
the
I am
cutout
not opening that."
clips that they had? Like
Oh
they,
yeah,
they,
I mean, and then the stuff that they
released them, but not with this
deleted.
movie. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the shit they
It's
deleted
like-
was so, like Hellraiser level fucking
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
it's like okay, we got to pull this out, otherwise it's
Yeah.
getting NC-17.
Yeah, it was just so violent. Their depiction of like
it's
hell and
like-
torture, and it was all
Oh.
practical effects too, by the way.
Oh, and
Mhm.
too, I mean, the cast in that too. You had Sam Neill,
Again, beautiful
you know,
cast.
Lawrence Fishburne, you know, and a few other like cast members. I forget their name, but they were like real big. A lot of them were. Like,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
were-
I
they
remember
were
them.
big names, you know. When
And you know what? One I'll
I mean,
throw
it was
out
just-
there.
unbelievable.
One I'll throw out there that is really not considered horror, but I think or wasn't their intention to be horror or be horrific, but the movie Legend with Tom Cruise and
Yeah,
Oh, sir,
I think
that
it
is a
kind of
dark
gets into our folklore.
fantasy. That is a
you know,
dark
as your
fantasy.
fantasy.
it's a dark fantasy, but like Tim Curry, that
Bro,
man
was
cannot get any
terrifying.
scarier. He
Listen, when I
cannot get any
was a
scarier.
kid, I thought he was terrifying, but then he has that scene with Lily where he gives her that black dress and does the
Yes.
dance. And even me as a kid was like half swooning for fucking Satan. I mean, it's not really Satan because at the end he says, you know, Father save me. So I think he's like a descendant of just darkness. But point
Right.
is, the fucking devil. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get it. I would have to.
Well, I
say
mean,
no,
like
but
you
I
sit
get
there and
it.
say, like, why did you go with the devil? Well, look at his abs.
Have you not
you know.
seen his abs? Did you not see these clothes? Like that Lily dark Lily outfit was
Yes.
to this fucking day one of my favorite fantasy outfits ever. Even her being like innocent Lily. It looks like the it was a painting, medieval painting
I
called
mean,
The Accolade.
and it just
Just
helped
like
that
that.
Mia Sarah is absolutely so.
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
Yeah, I know,
They put
right?
me
Right?
and Sarah
Right?
in that in the traditional
Right?
Accolade
Oh,
medieval gown, and then they further turned her into like the dark Lily, and I'm like, Jesus.
Here's
thing
another
is,
one
she's,
for
she's
you.
she's girl next door hot too. She's like that hot that you're like, I might have a shot. She's like, that's not even
And-
out of my. I might have a shot.
Yo, she's stunning though. I loved her. I loved her in Ferris Bueller's Day. I loved her in anything.
Now, a couple. I liked her in Time Cop. She
Yeah.
was great in Time Cop.
especially since you got to see her topless.
Yeah, in Time Cop.
Sorry, total.
I control
moment,
time because I
sorry.
pause it. I pause time and I watch
Listen,
it.
as a bisexual female, I can relate, and yes,
You know,
topless.
but you know what though?
Plus.
You know, but you know what though? Like in some of these movies, and once again, more on the sci-fi side of it, but have some horror aspects to it. I Come in Peace
Oh, that
That
one
with
too.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yo, I forgot to mention this one. I really wanted to mention this one because I'm obsessed. Annihilation, but also
Yeah, okay.
color Out of Space, because Annihilation was literally somebody's novel that was based off of
You know what?
Lovecraft's Color Out of Space. And the Color Out of Space was Nicolas Cage, was actually really good,
I didn't
but
like it.
Annihilation was really good too.
I
You
was
didn't like
ready
it?
to. I was ready to get a new
Bro,
coloring
it
book.
was just like the book, except for they showed you more stuff. But it was.
I was ready to get a new coloring book. I was
What
like,
about
no.
Annihilation? Did you not like
Annihilation was when they go into the thing, right?
Yeah, they go into that shimmer. And
That
then
was
there's
yeah, they go into the
bunch of
shimmer, right?
hair
Yeah,
and-
that was better than Color Out of Space, I thought. But
I liked the movie, but I loved Annihilation.
it held my attention to the end, but I was like, all right, now, like Matt said, all right, I watched it. I'm probably not going to watch it again.
Now I rewatched Annihilation because I hated that. Like I loved everything up until the end, and I hated it.
Right.
And then I rewatched. And I'm like, I don't hate the end. It's just bizarre. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I don't think I hate it.
Another
but...
one I was going to say too is The Hidden, and that stars the guy from Twin Peaks. What's his name?
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan. And,
I may have a small obsession.
Yeah. The Hidden, where an alien comes down, it needs a host body, and it jumps from host to host. But it's not scary in the sense that it's a monster. It's a
Like
host.
thrilling kind
He's
of
he's like a criminal. But it's a criminal like parasite.
It's like The Fallen, which it's kind of like
in a way, yes,
it's a demon, not an alien, but it
right.
like.
But it was more like, all right, I'm in this body now. I'm gonna go rob a bank. I mean, like it wasn't like I'm gonna like suck your blood or anything like that. You know,
that's what I would do if I was a demon, bounce from body to body. I'm like, I'm gonna
rob a bank
and
life
although-
today.
And
Now,
you would
granted,
like
too,
and grab like ATMs.
I fuck yeah.
now too, though we get into Fallen, which was I think more thriller than horror, just because
It
Right.
was. I think
Right.
it was.
But
too, yeah.
in
Right.
that similar vein, though, and it was horror.
Mhm.
Shocker.
Shocker was a great one.
Oh, that's a Wes Craven movie. I love that movie.
Great movie. It's a great movie. Great concept.
Like all of Wes Craven's collections, but yeah, Shocker. Not a lot of people. Every time I mention Shocker,
yeah, like that, and that was a fun movie.
It was.
You know,
that was
you know
that
what
was
it
a
reminded me of?
fun,
It
low
was like-
budget, Wes
yeah,
Craven.
it was like The
Yeah.
Fallen. But have you
Yeah.
guys ever seen another movie besides Shocker that a lot of people haven't seen that I was obsessed with? It was called Trick or Treat. Not that one with Sam, the pumpkin-headed dude. It
No,
came out in
with
the
Ozzy?
80s.
With
Yes,
Ozzy.
with Ozzy.
Yeah.
They had like the fucking
Yeah.
punk rocker, and
Yeah.
he died, and then he was
Again,
like playing the record
another
backwards.
movie that will once we get Shit Your Pants Wednesday going again
Yeah.
is on the
We're gonna be
list.
talking
I
about
have
that
a
there.
shirt. I have a T-shirt. I grew up on that movie because my mom, God bless.
And
her
that
soul,
movie,
rest in
and that
peace. She was
movie, but that movie
had me, but-
falls more under Possession, which will be coming up in future episodes of the Scream Stream.
It doesn't really. Well, he doesn't,
Yes, it was because he possessed people. Like when he possesses the girl through her headphones.
well, he doesn't really possess her. He undresses her and then fucks her up. Really.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah, but that's still it's
He's-
again
body
We'll
manipulation,
talk about it more when we get to that. But
not
yeah,
sci-fi.
it's not really sci-fi.
Oh no, but I was just saying that's what that Shocker reminded me of. Was that?
But here you go. One that falls dear to me and Matt's hearts, The Wraith.
The Wraith, yeah.
Here's a movie about it's sci-fi, but it's also paranormal. So we'll talk about more on a paranormal episode. But like about a guy who gets killed and he comes back to
Avenge his own death. Yeah.
avenge his own death with the help of Dodge.
I don't think that sounds like Christine or that one where that.
Yeah.
semi-truck- I can't remember what it was called, and it's not Maximum Overdrive, not that one, but there was one where the semi truck was.
Well,
possessed.
you know what though? You speak about one, and we'll talk about it in another episode. But I think it was Steven Spielberg. It was like his first film. Was a horror movie about a guy who's being chased by a guy in a semi.
Maybe that's what it was.
I think that's probably what you're thinking of, and it's a great movie. It was on Svengoolie, which I watch Svengoolie all the time on Saturday nights on
I
News TV. But
yeah, I haven't watched.
but yeah, that's another one too. But guys, let us know what sci-fi horror
That was
movies you
it.
like.
It's called Duel. It was the Steven
Duel.
Spielberg movie.
The
You're
Steven
right.
Spielberg. Yeah, there you go.
That's the one I used to watch. Yeah.
It's a great movie. I'm telling you. But go down there, put us down there. Tell us which ones you liked out of the ones we mentioned. If we didn't mention one, put it down there to let us know what you have.
You're
down
like,
there.
how could you have not mentioned that?
How could you?
Bro,
not
I
mention
have
that?
so many I can mention. Audience.
Tell us about
Leave
Stacy's
Jefferson.
glasses. I mean, everything. Go in the comments and talk about everything.
No. See, they block the cool like little star things.
Here, I'll make you big real quick before we get out of here. Take your glasses off. There you go. Look, there you go. This is just a normal Friday night for her.
It should be. Sometimes it's not.
That's amazing.
Sometimes I look like a swamp monster, straight up horror.
It's amazing. You're married. No, okay. So anyway,
It is. It fucking is a fucking miracle, sir.
oh my God. Hey guys, once again, great Scream stream right here. Leave us some comments down below. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. We're putting these out about once a month just to give everybody time to digest it. We get a lot into these videos, so by all means check that out. We have some great episodes planned for everybody. So by all means, if you're liking what you see, check it out. Come back more. DJBProductionsNetwork.com comes right to the YouTube channel. You can go ahead and hit subscribe and go right from there. For Matt Sunner, for Stacy Robel, my name is Danny J. We will catch you next time right here on the Scream Stream.